Born and bred in Hamilton, he's hit the big time overseas, working with the likes of John Legend, Pamela Anderson and Rod Stewart. Now he's come full circle, ducking out of the spotlight to direct a Kiwi play in his hometown. Matthew Walker, thanks for being with us this morning.
Good morning, thank you.
You must have made it because the Australians are claiming you. Anything
yes, right, yeah. Well, I lived in Australia for 12 years, so I had a great time there.
We know that. Because we don't really care about the fact you've worked with John Legend and Pamela Anderson and the likes. We care about the fact that you were on Home and Away. This one, back in the day.
Right, yeah.
Huge Home and Away. How is Summer Bay? No, it's been a while since you've been there, I think.
Well, actually, I did plays at the Sydney Opera House, lots of national touring Shakespeare company, but everyone wants to know about Home and Away. Yeah.
Is that right? Everyone
absolutely. Yeah. Well, people go, so you're an actor. What have you been on? What do you do? And I'm like, I start to say stuff like that, and they say,
Macbeth.
And then they go, no, and then I say, and I was on Home and Away, and they're like, oh really? Home and Away? Yes. It was very fun. It was a great show. It was really, really cool. Filming on the beach and all that stuff was great.
Yeah.
And then quite a lot of time behind the camera too. So is that where you worked with?
That's something that's happened recently. I kind of started to make that progression. I think actors come into a project sort of on about day 150 of a show, when you think about the time to come up with an idea for a show or a project, and then to develop it, write a script and find funding, which is a big part, all that stuff. And so I wanted to be more a part of that process, and the casting process starts very late, and actors are a big part of the project when they are there. But I wanted to kind of move behind the camera and be a bigger part of that.
Yeah,
it's really interesting, isn't it? And so, but how do you go though? That's amazing. From the Aussie soap to suddenly being in LA and be directing the likes of, as we just mentioned, John Legend.
So first of all, I was associate director on all of those. Though the director was the director.
That's a mere detail.
Yeah. So the little term director is in there, and the PR team on the play they've been doing their job at making
Come on,
things.
this is it.
But that's quite a only an LA story, really. That of how that next chapter of my career started was that I was in LA for something else, and I just went for a coffee, and the cafe I went to was quite busy, and so I asked if I could share the table with someone, and we got talking, and it turns out she's a director and had her own company, and I started to talk about things that I was doing and wanting to do and wanting to get off the ground, and then we became Facebook friends, and then she messaged me.
She was probably so really saying, I've just met an actor, and it's the first time I've ever met one who has said, I don't want to be in one of your productions, I want to help you direct.
Yeah, or who wasn't actually waiting the tables.
Afford their own coffee.
And so Pamela Anderson, John Legend, Rod Stewart, who's your pick?
So that, who's my pick?
Yeah, who was,
John Legend talked
probably Annie Lennox. He was really cool. I have to maintain professional standards.
Diplomacy.
But told to us.
The problem was I got that job and basically I got offered to work with this company and started working straight away, but the car that I was driving in LA was this really terrible, beat-up old Toyota truck, like a 1990 truck. I absolutely loved it, but it wasn't the best car to be driving up to these huge celebrity homes in places like Malibu, and you push the little button and the guard on the gate is like, are you sure you're at the right place? Real Kiwi in LA, yeah.
Has been a Kiwi, does that help in situations like that? Yeah,
absolutely. As soon as they hear your accent, I think Americans are really welcoming and really hospitable and charming people, I think, especially in places like California. But as soon as they hear your accent, it instantly starts a conversation, and that, you just break the ice.
They work out that actually, Kiwis and Aussies, they're the only people who actually are working and can't afford a better car than a beat-up truck, rather than... Now, so the directing's brought you home, though, temporarily, because now you're doing this production. Now, this is called...
this is called Hot Water.
Hot Water. This is quite a famous
This is by Roger
story.
Hall, very beloved New Zealand playwright. Yeah. So it opens on Friday night. It's a very, very hilarious comedy set on the shores of Lake Taupo at a Kiwi beach that has a thermal hot pool in the backyard. So it kind of really...
Is it at your place, Ron?
So it celebrates that great Kiwi pastime of kind of submerging in natural thermal water, and then the ensuing giddiness and dizziness and romance and loved-upness and a few too many gins and calamity ensues. And what was meant to be a very fun, chilled-out family holiday becomes this. So it's crazy. So they're all local actors in Hamilton. They're all really fantastic. So that's...
Is it quite important to bring, things like that to smaller towns?
Yes, I think so. There's life beyond the Bombay Hills.
No.
Yes. But I think so. Hamilton, and having been away from there and coming back to see family all the time, you watch it change in a different way than if you were there permanently. and it's definitely not a town that's stagnating. Every time I come back, it seems to have grown by another suburb. And I think the cultural scene there definitely has it's great, but has room to grow more. And I suppose me doing this production is a part of trying to initiate that and move things forward, and maybe even establish a professional theatre company there, which there is in Palmerston North.
Oh, that's interesting.
So you're thinking this is a move home for you now, or?
I think as a freelancer, you are always mobile and you're always prepared to sort of pack your bags and go somewhere else. But my family are here. I've got 4 crazy little nieces, and it's really nice to be able to watch them grow up rather than just for 1 or 2 days a year. So I've never actually spent time in New Zealand for the last sort of 17 years, and so I'm here, and I've had a great time being back so far, and hopefully it'll be more permanent. Yeah.
All set for Friday night?
I think so, yeah. I mean, it's quite nice being a director because you just sort of sit there and, you know, I've got my parents coming along to see the show, and I'm used to inviting them and having to dash backstage and do the show, and then now I can actually sit with them and have a glass of wine, and it'll be great.
Yeah. Break a leg.
Thank you very much.
Good luck, Matthew Walker.
Okay.
Thank you very
Cheers.
much for coming in.
Very good to meet you. Yeah, best of luck.